Hello and welcome. Today is the 18th day of March, Crypto Day. Every day is Crypto Day. My name is Derek. Everything within your own risk, own reward. And this is a frustrating game at times. I call this level, I guess. I also state they usually pierce extra. Yeah, a little bit below. The low in at 661.011. And it's rallied nice since. I'll show you my buy order I currently have in within NEO. Again, the number 6611011. My number 6611010, placed March the 10th for 5.5 NEOs. Now that is very, very frustrating. So now as a trader, I have to decide how am I going to handle this position. This is an entry level. I don't have any of these right now. None. It was something that I was looking to get into, like so many others, and I managed to get into many, many others along the way. Oftentimes, if I notice I'm close to a buy order, and it's not too far, say it was up to, well, 6.8 something, 6.9s, it's an easy buy. Even on the low 70s. Do I buy at the 76? It becomes very difficult. I can always shorten out the time frames like I was. It's going to be very difficult to trust these short-term rallies, but with that being stated, I mean, there's no resistance up till 81. So therefore, this thing could go for a little bit. I'll wait and see, but man, I hate to buy in short-term strength moments. Oh, we got the band flattening out. We established this resistance. It's came back. It's resisting and supporting well amongst here. Now it's breaking through that level we're talking about, 81. Looks like it's upcoming, and it might be. The dope coin, DOPE, is on its second day above the 18 average of highs, supporting the 18 average of such in today's session, resisting where it did yesterday. Take a look at this on a shorter term time frame. 4 hours. This is the 1 hour. Looks, now we can see the story here. You make your move up to this level, your first consolidation phase correctly done within the 18 average. This is the battlegrounds. The bulls were the ones with the dice in this game, because I look at this like a game of risk. Okay, so they come in and they have their turn. So therefore, they pass the dice, and now it comes into here. So now the bears had their turn, and they're fighting to see if the red turn is going to go again and continue with the turn, or if the turn's going to be passed over. And of course, the bulls won. The turn was passed. And because price action hasn't even went below the 18 average of highs really since this break at 6 hours this morning, the bulls have had the dice the whole time. And if you've played the game Risk, well, I look at this game and I'm just gonna, and I just got to take one random code that I see that I know has not been doing so well. It shouldn't be hard to find, easy to find. See, obviously it's not my turn if I'm looking to sell. I'm buying, of course, and that's what I'm doing. But if you've played the game, I'm looking at my cards, and I got cash. I got trade. And when I make a trade here, I'm planning a spectacular turn. And it's basically stating I'm expecting, or not expecting, but it'd be nice to see the situation of these kinds of movements. But yes, I am kind of expecting extreme volatility. I've been stating on here, markets go down slower than they go up. So we're seeing that normal situation, markets going down slower. And that, as I was talking about in the back in time when I was going through the history of all these coins, going back to 2016 or whatever was allocated to me, I noticed on many occasions if you stuck through the declines, oftentimes they'd end up paying out. And back in here when the market was in this major downtrend, if you stuck through these declines, Oh, I was a genius to buy at, say, 360. And then you bought again at 220, and then you buy at 170, and then you bought at 120 or maybe 115. And then you can sell up here. Okay, but you can only sell some of it. You can't sell what you bought at 330 up here. But when you bought at 190, sure, and everything below, yeah. And then everything that you sold really above 300 is like an easy buyback. And then sell, okay, sweet. Sell some more, and that's basically what I'm looking for are those big plays. When they come, well, whenever the other turn is ready to pass the dice, I got trade. What's cash at for? In that game, the amount would get higher and higher, so you get like larger armies, if you will, larger ammunition, and that means, of course, in this comparison, decent large moves higher. Let's move on to core. What I want to do with my coins is get the base 4 Fibonacci lines in all of them. For the key levels, some of them are a bit difficult. That will be PivX. I'll show that next. And in here, we can see left shoulder, head, right shoulder possibility, and the inverted head and shoulders pattern really didn't break. And look at this situation. You break above the 18, and then we're going to resist the 18 with the Fibonacci. 18 lows not holding, and since it's broken, look at what we're seeing. Now we're back down to previous low. Do we support here? Probably. If not, continuation down to 21.7. But if we do support here, now I'm looking for areas between the 18 average up to the previous resistance level at around 42 to become resistance, and then big level at 50. So what are these numbers? This is 23.6% down from the big high and big low. This is 38.2% down. When I take a look at this on a 3-day time frame, there are the numbers. So I'm going to put the 4 numbers lines in, the 23, the 38, 61, and 76, as well as up targets, down targets, and other miscellaneous ones. Now I'm going to show PivX, but I'm going to go back to the daily chart first to start its analysis. There we have it. So the 4 lines. And this is based on the lows in here and then the highs from, well, back in the day. So 23.6% down, 38.2, 61.8, which it's not holding. So now I'm looking at 3 levels right now. The first level is 37.381. It's not quite there yet, but it's close. The next level is previous low at 22. There's no line there, but previous low, previous high, it's just as big as these marks. But I have another one as well below that number, and at 16.742, which is the 38.2% longest term downtrend. And that's from these lows and these highs. So I realize that if this whole support area gives in and there's a noticeable move, I would expect a pierce below this line, probably down closer to 12 or 13,000. Maybe even down to 10, but that would be a large pierce. But this line was in at 37, and it pierced down to 27.8. So there's the exact reason why I'm speaking of such an idea, in line with break of support, which bears from 29.3 to 23.3. That was the support here, 23.3, a couple times hit at the 29 area here. So this is the bottom end of the support it's had since its big move. So when I look at it, to think that a move from 23 to 16, and this is the length, you know, that doesn't bode well with me. I expect this to work and as a key level would, sort of like this line has in here. But again, a pierce extra would not surprise me. I haven't got this Fibonacci updated as of yet. There's the key numbers, but a key number here at 18. However, this market is so easy to read as far as how many higher highs and how many higher lows can you see. You got the key low here, twice hit low here, little small one here because it didn't consolidate much there, but it still made a low there. Major one hit here at this Fibonacci level. This was a good price move one here. So that one at 29. So therefore, will it make another higher low there? It's having another 18 test of the 18 lows. This happened after it made a lower high from this move. And after the move, it didn't rally after continuous time there. So therefore, it'll be an interesting situation. Short term, do we see resistance at around the 90 handle? It's a possibility. But will we? I'll be looking to see on a break of this 18 lows how well it holds. Fibonacci from the 131 handle down to the 29 handle. Those ones I think would be very important for any retracements that pull down from here, because a 61.8% down correction somewhere approximately around the 49 number is very, very important in keeping that trend, as I show, of all of these nice higher lows in place. This is unbreakable, and there's the 4 key lines that I put in earlier today, as it's from the big lows, the big highs. And to think that the 1248 is a key level would be an understatement. Same thing here at this point. So it's a battle in betweening this line. And I'd still be buying here, but on a bearish level, if you find support amongst this 6,000 level, you're probably going to come up to the newly declining 18 lows and previous resistance up to 90 something and change. For scalping, buying at 60, selling at 90 is over 50% profit. And even go up to 100 and all that stuff, because piercing extra and all that kind of stuff. But if this level gives in, I'll be looking for this to go down to about 2,500 Satoshi. And if it breaks above this level, well, then there would be 2 areas I'm talking about. One would be this high, because there, well, I guess you could go after the level after the 76.4, which would be like an 85% mark. So that would work. I haven't calculated it, but in the situation of a break, it's something I would do, as well as the Fibonacci from this high and this low. You're looking at 61.8%. So those are the things you'd be looking for on a break of this resistance. These are older lines that I drew in several weeks ago. I end up purchasing this, but not against Bitcoin. I traded this on a Litecoin exchange on a smaller market. It's a decent sized market overall, worth making the trade on such. It's about as small as it could be to be big enough, basically. So anyway, key number in about 32, and with a lot of different coins that I'm holding, which is in a matter of a handful of dozens, so 50 plus, and I'm trying to get as many of the upper volume, and in such cases where not, the ones that I am very confident with, like the OK Cash and some of the other ones as well. But I've eliminated a lot of the lower ones, the BRK, BRX as examples, just because of the chances of delisting. Don't expect anything traded at like 60 Bitcoin volume and anything higher or close to that to get delisted. Although you never know, when they're so bad, they just keep going lower to the point where it's just going to grind you out kind of deal. Anyway, that's basically how I'm looking at that. So yeah, a doji, doggy, however you wish to pronounce it. I'm back in this again, trading it against Litecoin directly. And I'm going to finish it up with MUI, which is, I don't know if it's trying to make an attempt to break out. I want to talk more about this within a different strategy, probably later on this evening, tonight kind of deal. But what I have done is I have tried a new exchange. As I was looking at XBY, and I just thought, just for the heck of it, let's take a look at its exchanges. Because to say that I've been happy with Cryptopia, not really. A lot of their fees are very high as far as transferring. We're talking about Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Dash, so on and so forth. But I've seen CoinFalcon. Who are they? I mean, I've heard of them, and I didn't have an account with them. So I signed up with them. And to start it off, just to test it a little bit, considering I wanted to sell a little bit of XBY, and there was some for sale, just a couple percent of a Bitcoin worth. That's what I deposited over. It came through. I sold it to Bitcoin, and then I withdrew that Bitcoin somewhere else. It didn't cost much. The exchanges to get out of or to withdraw Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash, all those are super cheap on CoinFalcon. So I'm going to decide to trade my XBYs on this. And as you can see, there is an XBY Ethereum exchange, and I am going to be playing this exchange as well as that one. You know what? It's a decent exchange. It's not as big, obviously, but you know what? It worked for me. The transfer withdrawal was fine. You need authorization, all the 2FA stuff. It's like any other exchange that I've seen. But I've heard a lot of people complaining about Cryptopia. For me, that's all I was trading on there anyway. And I could arbitrage between the two sites, but I'm deciding not to. And here's a quick example here. So at 11:18 a.m., deposit extra bytes, $12.99. I deposited $1,300, cost me $1 to send. I sold it for Bitcoin at the for this amount here. And then I transferred that amount of Bitcoin thereafter that. It all worked fine. So then I made another deposit from Cryptopia to this site. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a magnificent day. Happy Crypto Day. Bye-bye.